And with us now to discuss the new designation is Kyle Shiedler, Director and Senior Analyst for Homeland Security and Counterterrorism at the Center for Security Policy. Kyle, great to see you. Thanks so much for coming on. What does this designation mean for Americans?
Well, if the Trump administration does, in fact, move forward with designating the Muslim Brotherhood, it will be the biggest blow ever suffered by Islamic terrorism since the global war on terrorism began after the 9/11 attacks. The Muslim Brotherhood is absolutely the font of jihadist terrorism. Muslim Brothers have played a key role in forming every Islamic jihadist terror group that the United States has ever confronted. So this is really getting at the very root of the problem.
How would you describe the Muslim Brotherhood and how it came about?
Well, it was founded in the 1920s in Egypt in a response to the abolition of the caliphate in Turkey during that time. The caliphate was, at the time, the sort of theo-political center of Islam, both politically and religiously. And with its abolition, the future of the Islamic movement was unsettled. And so Hassan al-Banna, the founder of the Muslim Brotherhood, created the Muslim Brotherhood as a sort of secret society with the objective of reestablishing the caliphate, reestablishing Islam, not just as a religion, but as a form of governance for both the Middle East and eventually the whole world.
So this is going to be, if the designation comes to be, we're talking about a foreign terrorist organization. Is this something that's going to allow the Trump administration to handle certain things overseas, or are we saying this could potentially prevent terrorist attacks here in the United States?
Well, it could have dramatic effects both internationally and domestically. The Muslim Brotherhood operates in almost every country in the world. In some places, they operate above ground, acting as political parties. In other places, they operate underground as essentially terrorist organizations. For example, in the Palestinian territories, where Hamas is the Muslim Brotherhood representative for that area. Even here in the United States, we have Muslim Brotherhood organizations. Your reporter mentioned CARE. It's one of those organizations that's been operating in the United States for a very long time. The U.S. government knows that there are U.S. Muslim Brotherhood organizations. They know that those organizations engage in supporting acts of terrorism. You can go all the way back to the Holy Land Foundation trial in 2008 to see that the federal government had an extensive understanding of the U.S. Muslim Brotherhood and its role in supporting terrorism. So if they should choose to move forward with this, there will be investigative threads that they can pull on to target the Muslim Brotherhood both internationally and domestically.
We discussed a little bit on CARE. If I'm not mistaken, you said this was a branch or part of the Muslim Brotherhood that operates above on the surface. It stands for the Council on American Islamic Relations, CAIR, C-A-I-R. And just last week, as I said, the Texas Governor Greg Abbott took action against them, designated them a foreign terrorist organization. What is he accusing CAIR of doing?
Well, the Council on American Islamic Relations was founded in the early 1990s to serve as a public relations arm of Hamas. The FBI was actually listening in on wiretaps at a meeting in Philadelphia where CAIR was discussed and ultimately created by what's called the Palestine Committee of the Muslim Brotherhood in the United States. The Palestine Committee being the Muslim Brotherhood structure responsible for supporting Hamas. So they had a meeting in Philadelphia where they discussed how best to support Hamas and its political goals. And one of the things that they determined was that they needed a media arm that would help and assist them with public relations and lobbying and other things on behalf of Hamas. And ultimately, the organization that was created out of that effort was the Council on American Islamic Relations. Numerous individuals associated with CAIR have been charged with crimes, including crimes of terrorism. In the past, CAIR has been investigated for a number of issues, including legal fraud, for having individuals on staff who were not, in fact, attorneys. So they have engaged in a long history of bad behavior, and it's finally catching up to them.